Welcome to Senior Care Insights, your YouTube channel dedicated to the health and well-being of seniors.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're diving deep into some really important aspects of staying healthy, staying vibrant, as we age. We're joined by an expert with years of experience in geriatric health and psychology. We're going to explore practical ways to support a fulfilling and healthy later life.
It's wonderful to be here and share some insights. Looking forward to the chat.
Absolutely. So we're focusing on key areas that really impact quality of life. Things like nutrition after 70, physical activity.
For right kind of activity, yeah.
Exactly. And even looking at, what's happening inside our cells as we get older.
Fascinating stuff, actually.
It really is. So let's kick things off with something fundamental. Nutrition for those over 70.
Nutrition really is the bedrock, isn't it? But after 70, our needs do shift a bit. Calcium, for example.
Calcium, right, for bones.
Precisely. It becomes even more critical for keeping bones strong, helping prevent things like osteoporosis and fractures. Bone density naturally tends to decrease, you see.
That makes perfect sense. It's not just for kids then. It becomes a priority again later.
Even more so in some ways. Consistent intake is key.
So what are the best ways, the practical ways, to get more calcium?
Well, we want to focus on calcium-rich foods daily. Think dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, great examples.
Okay.
Canned fish like sardines, especially, with the bones.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that.
Surprisingly good. Also, fortified cereals, milk, dairy, or plant-based, and some fortified juices. Aiming for a few servings across the day helps.
A few servings. Yeah, that sounds doable. Now, calcium doesn't work alone, does it? I remember reading something about a partner nutrient.
You're spot on. Vitamin D. It's absolutely crucial for helping our bodies actually absorb and use the calcium.
Ah, okay. Absorption.
Yes. We get some from sunlight. Some foods are fortified, but many older adults might need a supplement. But definitely talk to your doctor first. Always.
Good advice. Okay, moving on slightly. Fiber. Not the most glamorous topic, maybe, but sounds important.
Oh, it truly is. Fiber is key for keeping the digestive system, running smoothly. Helps prevent constipation, which can be an issue.
Right.
But the benefits go way beyond that. We're talking lower risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, even colon cancer. And it helps manage cholesterol. Quite remarkable, really.
Wow. Okay, so how do we, easily get more fiber in?
It's about variety. Mostly plant-based foods, more fruits and vegetables with every meal, ideally.
Right.
Choose whole grains, whole wheat bread instead of white oatmeal.
Simple swaps.
Exactly. And don't forget beans and peas. They're fiber powerhouses.
Beans and peas. Got it. What about protein? That's for strength, right?
Yeah.
Especially important as we age.
Absolutely critical. Protein helps preserve muscle mass, which unfortunately tends to decline otherwise. Good muscle strength is vital for mobility, balance, and independence, really.
Makes sense. So good sources.
Lean meats, fish, cooked dried beans again, low-fat milk, yogurt. Good options there.
So aiming for some protein with each meal seems like a solid plan.
Precisely. Now, something else to be mindful of, salt, sodium intake.
Ah, yes, the blood pressure connection.
Exactly. Too much salt can really impact blood pressure, raise the risk of heart disease. We need to be much more conscious of it.
But it's tricky, isn't it? Salt seems to be everywhere.
It can be. The key is prioritizing fresh, unprocessed foods as much as possible. When cooking, use herbs, spices for flavor instead of salt.
Good tip.
And be really wary of processed foods, restaurant meals. They often hide a lot of sodium. Reading labels is, eye-opening.
Label reading, definitely important. Okay, what about fats? Are all fats bad news?
Not at all. Actually, some fats are crucial. Healthy fats, that is. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Things like nuts, fish, especially oily fish like salmon, great for omega-3s, olive oil, avocados. Those are the good guys.
Okay.
It's the saturated and trans fats we really want to limit. Think olive oil on salad, not creamy dressing. Almonds instead of processed chips. Simple choices.
Choosing the right type of fat. Got it. You mentioned potassium earlier, too, in relation to blood pressure.
Yes, potassium is really important for regulating blood pressure. Increasing potassium-rich foods while cutting back on sodium is a very effective strategy.
And potassium is found in?
Many of the same healthy foods. Fruits, vegetables, beans again. See how it all connects.
It really does. It's like a system.
It is. And speaking of systems or patterns, the Mediterranean diet often comes up. Heard much about that?
I have. Often praised as being very heart-healthy.
It really is a fantastic model. Lots of fruits, vegetables, fish, whole grains Healthy fats like olive oil, low-fat dairy. Research suggests it can significantly reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, even cognitive decline.
Wow, that's quite a list of benefits.
It's a really holistic approach.
Yeah.
Focuses on whole, unprocessed foods.
Sounds like a great goal. Okay, let's switch gears slightly to something related but different. Hydration.
Hydration.
Sure.
Absolutely critical, especially as we get older.
Right, especially.
Interestingly, our sense of thirst can actually decrease as we age, so we might not realize we're getting dehydrated.
Oh, so you can't just rely on feeling thirsty.
Exactly. You have to make a conscious effort.
Yeah.
Sip water regularly throughout the day. Don't wait for that parched feeling.
Okay. Water is best, presumably.
Water's great. Low-fat milk, natural fruit juices can contribute too.
Wow.
Just try to avoid sugary or really salty drinks. They don't help long-term energy.
Good point. And finally, on the nutrition front, you mentioned alcohol. What's the consideration there for older adults?
Yeah, it's important. Our bodies process alcohol differently as we age. Metabolism can slow down. It can lead to dehydration faster, interfere with medications.
Right, medication interactions are a big one.
Huge. And it increases risks for things like congestive heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, memory issues, mood disorders, even osteoporosis and falls.
Falls again?
Yes. So for many seniors, moderation, or even choosing not to drink alcohol, might be the wisest path for overall health.
Some really crucial points there on nutrition. Thank you. Now let's move to another vital area. Staying physically active, but safely and effectively. It's not just about moving, but how we move, right?
Precisely. And one area that sometimes gets overlooked but is incredibly important after 70 is flexibility.
Flexibility. Why does that become so key?
Well, as we age, joints naturally get stiffer. Our range of motion can decrease, and this makes everyday movements harder.
Like what kind of movements?
Oh, simple things. Turning your head to check a blind spot while driving, bending down to tie your shoes or pick something up, reaching for something on a high shelf. These rely on flexibility.
I can see how stiffness could really start to limit independence.
Significantly. It's not just about walking. It's about moving freely without strain. We saw this with a gentleman, Walter, 78. Regular walker, but getting really stiff.
Even though he walked regularly.
Yes, walking is great cardio, but doesn't necessarily target joint flexibility everywhere. So he added gentle stretches, neck turns, knee pulls, ankle circles, arm rolls. Simple stuff.
And did it help him?
It really did. After just a few weeks, he felt much looser, moved easier, less discomfort. His posture even improved slightly. Shows how small, consistent efforts pay off.
So it doesn't have to be intense yoga or anything.
Not at all, just a few minutes daily. It's about maintaining that range of motion for independence, for pain-free daily tasks, getting dressed, getting in and out of the car.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What about core and posture? I tend to associate that more with like preventing back pain when you're younger.
It's vital at any age, but maybe even more so after 70. Your core muscles, abs, back, hips, they're the foundation for balance, stability, moving without pain.
And they weaken naturally.
They can, yes. Which leads to slouching, back discomfort, and, importantly, a higher risk of falls.
Falls are such a major concern, definitely.
Exactly. Think of Harold, 75. Walked daily, but noticed rounded shoulders, aching back, felt a bit unsteady. His core wasn't providing enough support for his spine.
So walking wasn't enough for his core either.
Not specifically targeting it, no. So he added simple things. Posture resets, like standing tall against a wall, seated pelvic tilts. Consciously tighten those lower abs while sitting or standing.
Simple exercises again. Did they work for Harold?
Yes. Within weeks, his back felt better, balance improved, even breathing felt easier. No gym needed. Just mindful moments focusing on alignment and engaging the core.
That wall test you mentioned earlier is interesting, standing with your back against the wall.
Yeah, can your head, shoulders, and hips touch comfortably? If not, it might indicate weakening posture. But the good news is you can work on it. It's about confidence in movement, supporting your spine.
Very practical. Okay, flexibility, core. What about the joints themselves, the impact of exercise on knees, hips?
Another crucial point. Walking is fantastic, but after 70, the repetitive impact can be tough on knees, hips, ankles.
Right, the weight-bearing joints.
Exactly. Over time, that stress can lead to stiffness, swelling, pain. That little soreness after a walk might be a signal.
A signal that maybe a different approach is needed.
Potentially, yes. Or supplementing walking. Take Raymond, 77. Dedicated walker, but increasing knee and back pain. The walking was stressing his joints, maybe without enough surrounding muscle strength to absorb the impact.
So what did he do? More gentle exercise?
He mixed it up. Added lower impact activities, swimming twice a week, some indoor cycling on low resistance, gentle chair exercises in the morning.
And the results.
Positive. Joint pain eased, he felt lighter when walking, could enjoy being active again without the constant discomfort.
So it's about finding lower impact options and strengthening muscles around the joints.
That's the key. Low impact movement strengthens muscles without excessive wear and tear. Water aerobics, tai chi, cycling, chair exercises, all excellent joint-friendly options.
Gives the joints a bit of a break.
Precisely. It's about preserving long-term mobility and comfort, not just avoiding pain now, but staying independent later.
These are all such practical, actionable tips for activity. Thank you. Now let's shift perspective a bit, go deeper to the cellular level. What's actually happening inside our bodies as we get older?
Ah, yes. This is where it gets really fascinating. Let's talk about telomeres first.
Telomeres, I've heard that word. They're like caps on our chromosome.
Exactly, like the plastic tips on shoelaces. They protect the ends of our chromosomes, keep them stable, stop them from fraying or sticking together incorrectly, made of repeating DNA sequences.
So vital for keeping our genetic information safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, here's the aging link.
Yeah.
Every time a cell divides, a tiny piece of those telomeres gets lost. It's just part of the process.
It gets shorter.
Yes, gradually over our lifetime. With countless cell divisions, eventually they get so short the chromosomes become unstable, they might not attach properly, might stick together. The cell can no longer divide.
So shorter telomeres are linked to cellular aging?
Generally, yes. Research looks at telomere length as a potential indicator of, well, cell lifespan.
Is that always the case? Do all cells lose telomere length?
There's a fascinating exception, an enzyme called telomerase. It's active in germ cells, reproductive cells, and interestingly, in cancer cells.
What does telomerase do?
It can actually lengthen telomeres, counteract the shortening. This allows those cells to keep dividing, basically indefinitely, why they're sometimes called immortal cells.
Wow, okay, that's a big difference. What other theories explain aging at the cellular level?
Another key idea is the accumulation of errors theory. Our bodies are constantly making proteins, DNA, essential stuff. But the process isn't always perfect.
Errors happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over time, errors in making these molecules can lead to abnormal or misfolded proteins building up inside cells.
And that causes problems.
It can interfere with normal cell functions, damage cells, tissues, even organs. The theory is, as we age, we become more susceptible to these errors, contributing to the overall aging process.
Like tiny flaws accumulating over time in a machine.
That's a good analogy. And related to that is the buildup of cellular waste products.
Cellular waste, like garbage inside our cells.
In a way, cellular activity produces waste. Some of it, like a substance called lipofuscin, can accumulate, especially in cells that don't divide, often like in the heart, kidneys, brain.
Lipofuscin. What is that exactly?
It's a pigmented material, visible under a microscope. Scientists see it as a sign of tissue wear and tear associated with aging.
So cellular clutter builds up.
It seems so.
Yeah.
Research is ongoing to understand its exact origins and effects. It does accumulate in older brains, and scientists are exploring if it could potentially be removed and whether that would be beneficial or harmful.
It sounds incredibly complex, all these interconnected factors at the cellular level.
It truly is a very active area of research. But understanding these basics gives us a deeper appreciation for why lifestyle choices, nutrition, activity matter so much throughout life.
Absolutely. It really does all seem to connect, doesn't it? What we eat, how we move, these microscopic changes, all influencing our health as we age. Okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, what are the main takeaways you'd want listeners to hold on to?
Well, I think the main thing is that maintaining health and well-being in our senior years really requires a holistic view. It's about mindful nutrition, getting those key nutrients like calcium, fiber, protein, while managing salt and unhealthy fats.
Right, the food foundation.
Exactly. Then it's about committing to regular, appropriate physical activity. Not just cardio, but focusing on flexibility, core strength, and protecting those joints with low-impact options.
Moving smart, not just moving more.
Precisely. And finally, just having a basic understanding of these natural aging processes at the cellular level can reinforce why our daily choices have such a long-term impact.
Those are really valuable insights. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise today. It's been incredibly illuminating.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, we really hope you take these insights and think about how they might apply to your own life or maybe the lives of loved ones.
And please remember, it really is never too late to make positive changes. Small steps can make a big difference.
Absolutely. If you found this discussion valuable, please do give this video a like, share it with others who might benefit, and leave your comments below. We love hearing from you.
Yes, engagement is great.
And crucially, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Care Insights and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our future content, all dedicated to supporting your health and happiness in later life.
Stay informed.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about just one small change you could make today. Maybe adding one calcium-rich food, doing 5 minutes of gentle stretching, or just drinking an extra glass of water.
Small, consistent steps.
Exactly. They really do add up. Until our next discussion, please take good care.